backstage pass, dude. Holy son of a... 2 rules in the corn maze. 1, don't pick corn. 2, stay together. What's up, nerds? You know what time it is. It's time for our top fall baits. So if you're out there in the frigid, cold fall weather, maybe it's not that cold if you're down south, and you want to catch some giants, we want to talk about the best baits to do that with. Also, we're at Uncle John's Cidery. Oh, this is a backstage pass, baby. Oh, that's awesome. We got 10 more minutes on the hayride. We threw them on that. We filmed like our oh, John's having a good time. I just pooped an apple. Michigan apples are undefeated. Oh, 100%. I don't know, we're getting the backstage pass, dude. Yeah. Look at the big dogs. The private patch. Backstage passes to the patch, baby. Look at this. Look at this. Holy son of a... I think we got it. Yo. I think we got one. We're gonna get some behemoths, y'all. Captain's log. Paul doesn't know where he's going. Chat, we're lost. Chat, we are well and truly cooked, chat. 2 rules in the corn maze. 1, don't pick corn. 2, stay together. I have one method of corn mazes. It's walk forward fast. Can we talk about strawberry lavender? Apple with the blueberry. Starting now, we will not cut through the corn, Paul.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Wow. Okay, all right. Captain's log.
Star date, corn maze, 4 hours in.
Maze, 0, us, 1.
Nailed it.
I think we were in there for 5 minutes.
They said it couldn't be done.
Easy.
Light work.
Light work. So let's talk top fall baits. Now you're gonna see a giant tackle box and you're gonna go like, that's too many baits. And you would be correct. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna break this down into categories and show you some of our favorites from each category, giving you some ideas, hopefully, but mostly like what is the actual type of bait that you should be using. That's really all you need. So let's crack open this box. What's in the box?
What's in the box? Hard baits.
Yeah. All right, so let's go through the top fall baits that we're gonna be using this fall to catch some giants, because we're gonna catch some giants, right?
Absolutely.
5, 10, 20 pounders.
I'm sick. 5+, it's in the cards.
Yep, so start with the hard baits. I think the #1 thing we would always recommend is a handful of jerk baits.
So the reason Jeff has a handful, and the reason I also have a handful, is because there's a couple of different kinds of jerk baits, and you really need a couple. My favorite is gonna be the medium suspending, so think that like 6-foot range, suspending jerk bait. That's the one that I tend to go to most, but sometimes you need the deep diver.
Then you get the bigger lip.
And you get the big, long spoon lip that you can eat your lunch with. And then sometimes I want, what Jeff's gonna hold you up right now, is the shallow diver. Maybe if they're looking
Junior
up,
size.
if it's super sunny, I'm really thinking shallow diver. But look, here's the thing with the jerkbait. I'll give you a couple tips. The one tip I will say is start counting. I literally, especially as you get to the tail end, it's twitch, and then check your watch, check your phone. I'm thinking like
pay your taxes,
5 to 10 seconds is literally what I'm waiting on. And it's funny, when do you catch the most fish the most often? When somebody calls you on the telephone during conversation. And #2 is when you cast out, you twitch, and like, oh yeah, I got a bit. You're dinking around with like a tool or something, and all of a sudden hammers it. So that is what I'm talking about. That's on the pause. So be ready for the pause hit.
Next up, you got your lipless crankbaits.
Must have.
So lipless is definitely a must have. This is like the classic, the red eye shad.
Red eye shad, baby.
And this is also the tungsten 2-tap, which for some reason,
I love it.
Like just
gets the people going.
Gets the people going.
I love the tungsten 2-tap, but I like all lipless. There's really no bad ones out there. I do like the ones that have the trebles that are on a swivel. I feel like you do land more fish. The reason we like those so much, pause for tractor effect.
The tractor beam.
See you, buddy. But I will tell you, the reason I like the lipless is because, and it's the first thing I tie on, it actually does a really good job of targeting any water you want. You can burn it really, really shallow. You can let it go all the way down,
low.
and you can just attack whatever water you want. And then if they're not hitting that, that's when I switch to the jerkbait.
Yep. Also, they call it a ripping bait sometimes too, because you can let it fall into grass or cover or whatever and just rip it out. And then
full braid, baby.
Right when you rip it, that's when you get bit. So it's definitely a worthwhile bait for the fall season.
And that's that reaction bite. And the best reaction bite is one of the ones that Jeff has for you right now. This is the best reaction bite out there by far, and that is
the crankbait. just run it through their face, man. Especially if you see them schooling up, if they're stacked up on ledges, off of drop-offs,
rocks,
off of cover, off of rocks.
If you're a river fisherman,
dig through the rocks with these things.
You're gonna want that, and that's why
you're gonna catch fish.
I have my favorite. This is an old school favorite of mine.
Oh, the Brat?
The BX Brat.
Yeah.
Now that is more of a square bill, so you've got the square billy that you can see right there. But the reason we like this is because it is designed to deflect off cover, and then every time it hits something, that's when you're getting that reaction. Loud sound right close to that fish, that's the reaction. Now, if you're in open water, instead of grabbing the square bill, I'm usually going for the really thin, I'm going for the flat-sided. So still a crankbait. That flat-sided with the cold water seems to get them going a little more.
Here's a great budget-er option. I'll say budget-er because
budget-ish.
It's not free, but it's definitely a little slightly cheaper option. This is the Chick Magnet from Strike King. So Strike King usually makes some really good affordable baits. So you go with the flat side sometimes, it just has a different action, especially if you can get ones with the
circuit board
lip. That's a great way to change it up. It's again, sometimes the subtle changes just make the biggest difference, especially
in
when
the cold water.
Comes to colder water, exactly.
Now we have a couple more hard baits to cover, and this is the one where, especially like this season and last season, I felt like they really changed my mind on baits like this, and that's going to be your larger size glides. Now, large is always going to be relative. For up here in the north, 6-7 inch glide, not a giant.
6-7. Come on, kids, watch, like and subscribe.
Not a gigantic bait by any means, but one that you really need to have in your arsenal. So that's any size glide, but by glide we mean that 2-piece bait with a hinge in the middle, and what you're going to look for is that I personally have something with the, you never know what they're gonna hit, but I personally have something with a slower, wider gait, and that's gonna be kind of one like this. This is that Molix glide, which I've always been a fan of. Now, the other thing I will say, I usually tend, especially as the water gets cold, I'm going with the naturals, like Jeff's gonna hold up for you right now. As soon as this tractor comes back, hey, the man's got pies to make. The man's making cider. Let him do his work.
Another great aggressive option. We love the Trick Shad from Buka.
But always a banger. And I like the naturals. So we're thinking silvers, a little bit of purple, pearls, bone color.
Bluegills, perches.
That's what I'm looking for, because with the clarity of the water, you don't necessarily need to contrast as much. What you need to do is draw them in.
Last couple of hard baits for the fall are a couple that you wouldn't think of, right? So you actually have a pretty good chance of making this happen, and that is top water. So definitely like poppers for sure. You can run them at whatever pace you want to. You can speed it up, you can slow it down, you can just dead stick these things. I love the little bloop and then pause forever. That can be extremely effective. I've always had a great time with the Rebel Pop R's in the fall. I think they're great. And then you're also gonna wanna go for your walking baits. In this case, I've got the TB115 from Arc, one of our favorites. It's got a popping lip there, as well as it walks really well. It also walks really well. And then you can see it's pretty scarred up on the back. That's because I've had this one forever.
That's the one. I got the same one.
Since we first got these. The bluegill color is fantastic. But yeah, walking baits of any size are a great option. You can even go teeny tiny like this little guy. This thing is sick. This is the Super Spook Boyo from Heddon. This thing is freaking killer. Great time of year to try this. You got a good shot at topwater. You just have to like change the pace up a little bit.
And you got to be okay with lots of casts and not a lot of catches, which is kind of the case for all these baits. And when that starts happening, but you know there's fish nearby, I'm just holding up as an example. Don't be afraid to downsize. Like especially when the water's cold, you don't need to always go big. Downsize is always going to be there for you. And that goes for glides, crankbaits, topwater, and everything else in between. Do not be afraid to grab something a little bit smaller.
Do it.
Now let's talk about, when we talked about all the hard-sided stuff, let's talk about the non-hard-sided stuff you may even need to grab a plastic for, and that is going to be a jig. Now, a jig is never a bad option for at any point in the season, and the fall is no exception. Half-ounce jig, some kind of brush guard. I want to find that last grass. If I'm close to that last grass, or if I'm in the river, I'm still close to the rock, we are talking fish time. So especially as they slow down and the water gets a little colder, jig is a great option.
Great option to go with a hybrid jig as well. It's gonna have that spider skirt setup. So sometimes ball head, sometimes football head. The point is it's got the skirt kind of sticking out the top there as well. And that tends to just get the bites, man.
Gets them done, gets the fishies going.
It's also never a bad idea to go with a swim jig. So you're gonna have more of that tapered head there that's going to clear cover a little bit better. Throw your trailer of choice off the back of that. That allows you to add a little more action and move it a little bit more rather than just kind of like hopping or dead sticking it like you normally would with some of the other jigs. And last on the jigs, you can go with the bucktail hair jigs, something like that. So in this case, we got the chicken nugget coming from Outcast. This thing is phenomenal. I love the bluegill color. It works really well up here in the Midwest.
So does white.
White is the other like great option. I've caught 4 and 5 pounders on that in the cold water in the spring and the fall. So it's something we highly recommend.
Well, let's go to bladed baits. So you got a couple options when it comes to getting a little flash involved, and all of these baits, while we wait for this tractor.
Tractor time! Hit him with the tractor.
Hit him with the tractor.
That would hurt.
Would not be good. Now let's talk bladed baits. This is really important. So those fish, we talked about them feeding up. They're gonna be keying in on a lot of bait fish, and those bait fish are gonna be schooling up. And the best way to represent schooling bait fish, in my opinion, is going to be the old A-rig. This one is from Yum. It is a banger. It's got the big blades. So this is a big fish hunter.
Chandelier.
And again, like Jeff said, just make sure you know the laws and regulations. You can put some non-hooks back here and just show like you're a fish, but with no hook, you're not actually a fish. And then, you know, manage to the number of hooks that you want. But an A-rig is a phenomenal bait, and I will tell you right now, of all the baits that are in here, Glide and A-rig are probably the 2 most fun to catch on, in my opinion.
They're a blast. We had a time on them a couple years ago in Gunnersville, down in Alabama. Alabama rig, Alabama.
In November.
Weird. Yeah, in November. It was freaking wild, but it was so much fun.
So fun.
Highly recommended. And they come in many different sizes, so don't be, what do I want to say?
Afraid. Don't be
Sure.
scared.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared to try the A-rig just because you've seen giant chandelier umbrella rigs. They do make very small ones. They make 1, 3, and 5 wire ones. And like Paul was saying, you can get a screw lock jig head without a hook so that you can have sort of a dummy bait on some of those wires and get away with your hook regulations within your state. So make sure you're a law-abiding citizen on the water.
Now, like Jeff, Jeff is
yeah.
Now, just like an A-rig, you're not trying to make them bite the whole thing. You're showing out like you're a couple of fish hanging out together, and they're just taking a swipe at all the fish. And this is a smaller way to do that.
Spinnerbait.
Banger.
You can go with a spinnerbait. Another great option beside just the 2-blade option, which you can get 2 willow blades, Indiana blades, Colorado blades, alternating blades where you have a Colorado and a willow blade, etc. You can also get the multi-blades. So there's 3 and 4 and sometimes even 5.
Just run one.
Which looks like kind of a mini A-rig and just looks like a school of bait fish just fluttering through the water. These are great. Cast them out there, retrieve it. You don't have to do much. As you learn, you can also change it up and part a little more action on it. You can run it on the bottom, up high, and burn it. But mostly, like,
get it wet.
Just get it wet. Like, get it out there, retrieve it. You'll catch fish. We promise.
No, Jeff's holding a couple examples of another bait that all you really got to do is get it wet. Just get it in the right position, and the fish is going to come and smack it. And that's going to be a bladed jig or a chatterbait. Here we've got a bunch of different options. We got everything from Z-Man to I don't even know what kind this is.
That's a Z-Man jackhammer.
It is, you're right.
Mostly you're gonna see us using Z-Mans because they're simply the best bladed jig. It's literally no contest. But we got the Evo here, which is a little more budget friendly. We got the Evo Micro Max, which gives you a slightly downsized version. And then you can go super downsized. They actually came out with a bait finesse version this year, which is pretty fantastic. I was actually casting this on a spinning setup, a medium light spinning setup, and caught a giant perch.
Oh, dude, Jeff's on him. Baby boy, is that a perch?
That's a perch.
Yeah.
It's a Mondo perch.
Let's go.
It's a Mondo perch.
Look at that dude.
The perch are out eating.
Oh my God, they're freaking feeding.
They're savages.
Dude, that was awesome.
They're slamming the chatterbaits today.
I love it.
Look at that guy. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
These are a lot of fun to fish with. Again, cast it out there, retrieve it. Yes, there are more advanced techniques to it, but if you're just getting into fishing or you just want to catch some fish this fall, get it wet, retrieve it,
get bit.
Get bit.
Also too, Z-Man does make some phenomenal trailers. So this is their chatter spike. We like them because one, they match the profiles and colors of some of the Z-Man stuff, but the best part is you set it and you forget it. You set it, you leave it on, it never comes off because of the stretchiness. They last for freaking ever.
Chatter Shad is another great option. Adds a little more action because you got that flat tail off the back. And then a new one this year, the Diesel Kickers is going to add a ton of action because you got the dual feet kicking like that.
And those are not going to, you can rig them sideways or horizontal, but if you rig them vertical where they're stacked on top of each other, banger. Also, now there's a plane that's about to take off. Forget the tractor, show me the plane.
Last thing we're gonna highly recommend, and this is probably our favorite way to catch fish this time of year, in the river, in the lakes, it doesn't matter.
Nope.
Throw a large, soft plastic swim bait.
No, those are upper water column. When the water gets super cold and you're sniffing like December, January, and you're up in the north and the water temperature is absolutely plummeting, you're gonna want something that goes even slower. So this is an example. It's an example. There are options. This is the hatch match. Now what separates this from like your standard, what we were just showing you, is one, it's got a much more subtle action with a totally different type of tail. So this tail is plug tail. It's like a plug tail. It's more like what you would see that. There you go. It's more like a wedge tail. And so what you're going to get is
with hard edges.
You're going to get a tighter action. It's not going to be as aggressive. It's going to be a lot more subtle. This is meant to go all the way to the bottom and live on the bottom the whole time you retrieve it super slow. This one is, like Jeff said, a line through. So you get a treble on top. You can also do the single hook if you want. This one's really cool because it's a silicone bait, which means it's going to last a long time. Every single one of these is made by hand, which is incredible. And then this is mimicking a goby. So this is the Godzilla goby. This is the 6-inch. They have a bunch of different sizes. They have finesse sizes. They've got the whole gamut. But what's really cool too is you can see right there, there's a little weight in the front. So that little chamber allows you to replace the weight. So it's like 2¼ ounces or 2½, I think, gets it down to the bottom, but then you add in the weight and you modify it so that you can stay on the bottom, because it's so important to be down where the fish are. And then when you're subtle and you're slow, that's how a large fish is gonna say, you know what, I thought I was full, dessert's coming through, I think I'm interested.
That's a big dessert.
And that's how you get a whole cake, baby. That's the whole cake, caked up.
It's like when you go to the buffet and like you've already had 5 plates.
Do I need dessert?
But then they like freshened up the cake platter, and you're just like, ah,
give me a slice.
I can do another one.
Now again, this is an example. This is an expensive bait. It's like 50 bucks for one of these, so I totally get it. But again, a lot of these are going to be that handmade, finely tuned, more expensive baits. So don't feel like you need to get this one. There are others out there, and really, look, you're just trying to get something low and slow that's tuned right, is going to fish right in that cold water when it's super clear, and you got a chance at getting bit.
There's definitely other great options out there. You could look into Huddleston. You could look into Z-Man has some wedge tail options. You can run a lot slower. So there's the Mulletron and the
Mulletron's the one that comes to mind.
Shadtron Mulletron. Mulletron or the Shadtron from Z-Man are a good option too. Plenty of things out there that could be a little less expensive, but that one's pretty cool. It's also a small business, so whenever possible, I like to support small business. So,
100%, dude.
And there you guys have it. Those are our top fall baits. Listen, I know there's a lot of them. You kind of just got to break down based on the water you're on, what's going to work, what's not going to work for you, and play to your favorites, play to your confidence. But hopefully this gives you some good ideas. And then I think out of this list, we already mentioned like some of our top favorites are going to be like those big soft plastic swim baits.
Jerk bait.
If you're not running those, if you're not running a jerk bait, you're missing out. There's huge opportunity
and a
there.
lipless.
So get after those. Lipless is one that I got to commit to more. Like I know they catch big fish. I know they're fantastic in the fall. I just got to,
we've had days.
You know, I got to make it happen.
The proof's in the pudding. And look, like Jeff said, this gets you a full box. That's what the idea is. Fill up a whole box so that your top 3-4 options are not working.
This is all I would take. Right here.
That's it.
This is it.
And then you got 5-6 options behind you to say, look, well, I tried this, it didn't work. I tried that, it didn't work. Now you can work your way down a long list.
Back up 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's
just
right.
keep going. Hopefully this helps you catch some fish. If you liked the video, if this was helpful for you, make sure you smash that like, ring that notification bell, be subscribed for more content, because we are, yes, approaching winter, unfortunately, but there will still be fishing content, and we've still got a ton of great stuff coming your guys' way, so you better stay tuned for that. But we have to get back to our families before we get yelled at. Our wives are probably mad.
I'm getting buzzed right now.
I think we gotta go. So thanks for watching, you guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Okay, bye.
See you.